Hey, how's it going, Las Vegas Business Collaboration? This is AJ Lewis, and I'm here with Duy Tran. Duy, how you doing today?
I'm doing great, AJ. Thank you for having me here. And for everyone else tuning in, thank you for joining us.
Thank you. Well, so today we're going to get to learn a little bit about what Duy does. He actually helps people with not only weight loss, but overall nutrition. And so we're going to get to dive deep into that a little bit. So Duy, can you tell us a little bit about what you do?
Yes, AJ. When it comes to health and wellness, there are many aspects to this topic. There's a spiritual, emotional, social, physical, and many other aspects. But under the physical banner of health and wellness, there are three elements. There's exercise, sleep, and food. And what I specialize in is food science and human nutrition. So I help people understand the science behind nutrition and how to better care for ourselves through food. Because whether a person is trying to lose, gain, or maintain their weight, it's important to have the right kind of guidance, have the right kind of tools for the person to go through the program in a safe manner, because safety is a big concern.
It's funny that you mentioned safety because I know a lot of people don't think about safety when dieting. Can you dive a little deeper into that?
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned safety as an issue. It is a big concern because we have to look at the concept of the diet, whether it's a new diet or an old diet, but we have to look at the concept and whether it fits into the individual person or the context of their lifestyle. And what I mean by putting the concept into context is asking yourselves, does this diet apply to me? Is it appropriate for me? And does it work for me at the moment? Because there's a time and place for everything. If it works now, down the road, is it going to work for me just as well? And this road could be very short. For instance, it might work for me this month, but then the next month it stops working. And this could be a common theme. And one way that a person can look at the safety issue is finding the right information for yourself. And when you do this, it kind of helps determine what will work best for you. So it kind of creates this happy medium for yourself.
Okay, so a happy medium, we always hear everything in moderation, right?
That's very true. Moderation, we hear it all the time. Meeting in the middle. We could do this by looking at a diet, by not looking at the extremes of the diet, which we tend to do here in America, always looking at one end of the spectrum or the other. And if we were to take an example, such as ketosis, it's not a new concept. It's been around for about 100 years. And there's been a resurgence of true ketosis. And the percentages are 80% fat, 10% protein, and 10% carb. And this type of diet is made for those with epilepsy and seizures, but people are adopting this type of diet to lose weight. And if you have 80% fat for your daily values, it's gonna put you into deep ketosis, severe ketosis. Now, is there a better way to do ketosis? Yes, and that's a mild state of ketosis. And when you go through a mild state of ketosis in comparison to deep ketosis, you're still going to maintain your muscle integrity. You're not going to lose water. You're not going to lose necessary glycogen or other vital nutrients. And you target body fat a lot better. Because when you do go into deep ketosis, you might lose indiscriminate weight, which means that you might not lose body fat. That's what we're trying to target. And if we were to look at a totally different diet from ketosis, but still apply the same sense, let's look at the USDA food guide pyramid. Now, a lot of people has placed a lot of blame for the chronic illnesses, diabetes, hypertension, heart disease, cancer, cardiovascular disease to the food guide pyramid from 1992 because the base, the foundation, recommended for us to have 6 to 11 servings of grains in a day. And that right now is a lot of carbohydrates for us. And since then, the USDA has revised their guidelines, and now we have the MyPlate. It's been around for just a few years. It came out in 2011, so it hasn't had that much time with us. But this MyPlate, it's a great visual depiction of what we ought to have on our plate. and it's broken into 4 components. So it has your fruits, your vegetables, your grains, healthy whole grains, and your protein source. And the protein source, it can be animal-based or plant-based, which I highly recommend. And if you were to implement this plate for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, it will not equate to the 6 to 11 servings of grains in a day, unless you make your plate the size of a small table, which I don't recommend at all.
So, you talked about extremes and how, those 2 diets are very extreme, but it almost seems like there should be a range, right?
No matter what kind of diet a person is interested in, there's a better way to do things and a not so great way to do things. And like what you mentioned is finding this range. And you could definitely do this by not looking at the extremities, like what we talk about, and also finding out to what point does this diet work for me and not work for me. And one of the best advice I've ever received is we eat what we can. So that kind of deals in degrees, and I don't like to deal in absolutes, meaning you absolutely cannot have this, you absolutely cannot have that. When we do that, then we can miss out on key nutrients, as well as taking the enjoyment out of food. Because I believe eating is a wonderful life experience, and everyone should enjoy that aspect of nutrition and culinary arts. And what we can also do for ourselves is not just look at the quantity of the calories or numerical values, percentages, or ratios, but looking at the quality of the calorie.
Yeah.
So then we don't have to think so much about the sums or the quantities, even though those are important measures. And one last advice is asking for help. Some of the most successful people, they ask for help because, truth be told, we can't do it all on our own. Success does not have to equate to just what one person does, but what a team does. And for instance, my message, it can't reach out to you guys without AJ's help. And AJ is great with a lot of specialties that I'm not good at, vice versa. But if we were to combine our efforts, this creates a symbiotic relationship which helps us achieve success a whole lot easier.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, Duy, it's been amazing. I really thank you for coming on the show today.
Thank you very much.
Let people know where they can find you at.
You guys could find me at Nomtrition.org. And you guys can find AJ at inspiredefforts.com. So please check out his website.
Duy, thank you. Thank you guys so much for watching. We really enjoyed this. And Duy, it's been a pleasure.
Thank you, AJ.
Absolutely.
Wonderful library. I heard your uncle's paintings were here last month.
Yeah,
He was featured.
he was featured here, and it's going to move over to Summerlin Library now. So, anybody that likes art, feel free to check it out.
All right, folks. Have a good night.
Take care. Cool.